Hey everybody, welcome back to another Flipping Tables. Today we've got a Kickstarter prototype for a game called Doomlings coming to Kickstarter on March 2nd, 2021. Be sure to check out our interview with the creator. We'll put a link right up there for that. But let's have a look at Doomlings. It is a card game, and this is the beginning layout of it. We've gone ahead and created a deck here. This deck consists of 9 age cards, as well as 3 catastrophes that are randomly placed in that deck to start with. The ages look something like this, and each age has an ability. Sorry, these are the catastrophes. Each one has an ability that happens whenever it comes up, and then when you get the 3rd catastrophe, the world ends, and you do what it says there at world end.
Count up your points.
And count. So the whole point of this game is you're trying to get the most points at the end of the game. And there's quite a few catastrophes, so it's going to be a random assortment every time because you're putting 3 random catastrophes into this ages deck, along with ages, 25 different ages. That
9 of the 25.
So 9 of the 25 are in there randomly, and again, each age has their own ability that happen during that turn.
That round, yeah.
So we start out at the beginning of the game with 5 gene pool. This is the birth of life. Everybody starts with 5 gene pool.
And that's represented by your gene
This
pool
is your
card.
gene pool card. So you're going to basically whatever number is at the top, and you're going to rotate that as you gain more gene pool. And then what the gene pool means is that's how many cards you start with.
Yes.
So we all are going to start with 5 cards. We've randomly given out our 5 cards, and we're going to look at that. And Tico, why don't you go first? And the idea here is we're a
tableau builder.
We're going to build a tableau based on the cards in our hand. Again, each card has an ability on it that is going to happen when you play that card, or possibly give you plus points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Right? There's an action that I could play when I play that card. And the points on the bottom of the card is how many points you're going to score at the end of the game.
Yeah, and then there's modifiers and stuff like that. So
additionally, there's dominant cards, as you can tell by the word dominant at the top, as well as the star. And you can only have 2 of those in your tableau or in your traits pile. These are all called traits, and they call it your traits pile. And so you're building up this traits pile through the ages, and an age is 1 round throughout the players, whether it's 2 to 5 players. Was it 5 or
2 to 6?
2 to 6 players. So every time somebody has had one round, then the next age is going to flip over, and you're going to do the action on the there's going to be an action that affects that round. Right. So Tico, why don't you go first and play a card?
So I'm going to play a colorless card. There's a number of different cards. So I'm playing Sexual Cannibalism.
Nice.
And so then there's text there. When sexual cannibalism enters your trait pile, which is your tableau, discard 1 trait from your trait pile. I have none, so therefore I don't have to discard anything. So that's
excellent.
Perfect time to get sexual cannibalism out there.
Great.
The birth of life.
And now Tico has to stabilize his molecules.
Yeah.
And so that means to draw back up to 5.
So then I draw 1. And that ends my turn.
That ends your turn. Now I'm going to play a card. I'm going to play Denial. Ignore the next catastrophe.
Ooh.
So I get to ignore the next catastrophe. It gives me 4 points for the end of the game. Now I want to stabilize back up to 5 and do that. So by the time the game ends, it's going to look something like this. So this is the end of the game. We now have the 3rd catastrophe listed there, so the game immediately ends, and we add up the scores on the bottom of each of the cards, as well as anything that says, for example, this one here, +1 for each red trait. So because I have 3 red traits, this actually becomes a +1 instead of a -2. So in my case, here's an interesting card. It's worth 17, but it's -1 for each trait in my trait pile. I have 10 traits in my trait pile. This card is only worth 7, but still, that's a pretty big number.
That's a nice number
for that card. It's worth 7 points. So I have actually, this one isn't worth anything because I don't have a swarm. plus 1 for every pair of green. So there's a pair of green. So let's see, I've got 7, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18, 19. I have 20 points.
You have 22 actually, because this is a green card as well as a red card, so that actually matches up with your score.
Perfect. So there you go. And how many points do you have?
So I've got, what was it, 7, 11, 9, 10, 16, 19, plus 3 is 22, plus 1.
To my 21, so you win.
You had 22.
22. Oh.
Plus 1 for every color that I have more of. I have more blues than you.
Yes, you
So I have another plus 1, so it puts me at 23.
23 to my 22. That was a very close win.
Plus 1 for every pair. So 1, 2. So I have the.
You win.
I win.
Chico, you win.
I win.
Just like you always like to win.
I'm a fan of winning.
And so Doomlings is coming to Kickstarter on March 2nd. It's a very simple game. It's very quick to get into. It has sort of a flux feel to it in that the rules are changing every round. And so it's there's a lot of take that ability in it as well. So I can play a card that steals from you, or I can, if you do something against me, there are cards that you can play immediately to stop that action. There's a lot of cards. This is a huge deck of cards. Like, look at the number of cards in this deck. There's a lot of traits. There's 25 ages, and there's 15 catastrophes. Yeah. You are literally never going to play the same game twice with Doomlings. If you love a good take that, so flux style game, it's fun. It is,
it's fun, and
it's cute.
It's very cute, so really fun to play with the kids. Sort of, kids, a lot more fun to actually really use those take that mechanics on smaller children, because.
You just beat the kids up.
Beat the kids
you can't beat the kids up in real life, so you might as well do it in a card game.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So that is Doomlings. Again, check out our episode of Kicking Tables, where we talk to the creator about where the idea for this game came from and a little bit more about it. But thanks everybody for joining us for Flipping Tables for Doomlings. And if you like this episode, if you like
stuff
listening to me screw things up,
if you enjoy that,
then definitely click that subscribe button, because you'll be sure to see more.
A lot.
I figured just go with it.